Hello and welcome to Tales of Anosmia. I'm Jules and I am anosmic. I have no sense of smell. I recently came across a Tumblr post from a blind Tumblr user and they were talking about what it is like when people ask them, if there was a cure, would you take it? A lot of what they said really applies to how I feel about anosmia, so let's talk about that. So when you meet somebody new or you're just having a discussion about anosmia, often it'll go something like this at some point. But if you could get your sense of smell back, would you do it? No, I'm happy as I am, really. Oh. Really? The thing is, when they ask this question, they're not really asking a question. They are expecting an answer. And then when you don't give the answer they're expecting, they don't really know what to do with that information. Certainly not anybody's fault. We have a general view in society that if you have some kind of disability or limitation or something that makes you different from the norm, probably the most diplomatic way of phrasing it, then obviously you must want to bring yourself back in line with everybody else and get fixed. I don't feel this way at all. So let's go through my thought process on it. There are definitely disadvantages to being anosmic. I have discussed it in previous videos and they should not be totally ignored. But for me, I don't see the risk of me accidentally leaving the gas on as any more dangerous than the occasional time that I have accidentally walked into the street without fully paying attention and nearly been hit by a car. I've done that more times than I have accidentally left the gas on, and it's probably more dangerous to my life. And the simple answer to both of those problems is to just be more aware. Obviously, I'm not speaking for everybody. I do not think that an acquired anosmic has the same experience as a congenital anosmic. If you know what the sense of smell is and you have lost it, I can totally understand you wanting to get that back. That makes sense to me. And also I totally understand why people who are also congenital anosmics may want to gain the sense of smell. Like, I can understand that too, but for me personally, I'm not bothered. There are a few reasons. First of which, the cause of my anosmia was most likely birth trauma from the slight mishap that happened with forceps whilst trying to get me out. Born by C-section anyway in the end, but you know, they did their best. Unfortunately that, we think, severed the olfactory nerve because my face was a bit mashed in. My first video I did about anosmia, I discussed that. But to fix that, if it is fixable, it would probably be surgical. And I'm not a fan of unnecessary medical procedures. I don't think that this is important enough to warrant it. And then the next concern with that, of course, is if you went through all that process and it didn't work, because there is a chance it wouldn't. If the brain never made those connections when it was developing, the baby's brain is amazing at what it can do, and it is quite different to an adult brain. And there's a good chance that if the nerve was reconnected and everything was functioning fine, that my brain just wouldn't do anything with the information it was being given, because it never learned how. It might not. Is it worth it? And then of course there's the total flip side to that problem, which is what if it works too well? What if my sense of taste is effectively boosted by 10 times? Then will I still be able to enjoy food? Because I can taste stuff pretty strongly right now. I'm quite happy with how well I can taste food. If it's suddenly a lot more powerful, will I only be able to eat the blandest of food? Will everything else just be too much? Will I constantly feel nauseous just from smells being in the air all of the time and not really being able to deal with that? And then there is the biggest reason, the most important one for me anyway. I have never had a sense of smell, and being anosmic is a part of my identity. It is part of who I am. And why would I willingly give up a part of myself? But then of course, maybe I wouldn't always have to be the one who takes the bins out.